We've tested hundreds of wireless earbuds here on the channel, ranging from $20 all the way close to $600. The one from $600 we have on the table today, so we'll be taking a look at that. But we have stuff from the likes of the AirPods Pro 3, the Sony XM5s, BeyerDynamic, the JBL, tons of brands on the table, so let's get into it.
We gotta start with the AirPods Pro 3 because, everybody wants to know.
A couple of things that it has going for it. 5 included tips. They have extra small. A lot of people are going to love that. But I think the best part is the materials, isn't it?
Foam, but it doesn't feel like foam.
Yeah.
It doesn't have all the gunk that foam accumulates. So they've infused a silicone-based thing with foam inside.
It's the real deal.
It's the real deal?
Yeah, because I actually thought with foam, you would have to squeeze them, put them in, wait till they expand, all of that. No, they're very easy to use. So yeah, that translates to better fit. The previous AirPods weren't always in my ears and they would sometimes drop out. But this one, I could actually wear them and do proper workouts and they stayed in my ears.
Wow.
Yeah. But the downside though is that you do feel them touching the inner, side of your ear canal a bit more than the Pro 2s, for example. Yeah, that's a bit of a trade-off there.
Where there's no trade-off is noise cancelling.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
You even put them up against the Kings, which we'll come to in next.
Yeah.
Top of TRS.
Yes. Yeah. No, there's definitely something in Apple's claim there. They've improved it in the low end, in the voices as well. The example I gave was I was in the car, couldn't hear road noise, the car noise, or barely the navigation. So that's what you're getting.
Don't drive with AirPods in your ears.
Yeah, exactly. Be safe, kids. There's also better battery life. So they've gone up from 6 hours to 8 hours. Nice jump. And there's a live translation feature, which they've demoed. So if you're the only one with AirPods, you can translate whatever other people are saying in their own language to you, and then it'll translate. But if you both have AirPods, you could just do this two-way kind of translation. Unfortunately, here in Europe, at least here in the Netherlands, it doesn't work and it's not supported.
Yeah.
So, not sure if it'll ever come here.
Yeah. In terms of sound, these are very much from the AirPods stable.
Yeah.
But there's been a lot of talk online, and there's definitely a V-shape. You notice there's more sub-bass. It's a bit brighter. I don't really mind it. It's a fun sound signature. If you think there's only one kind of sound signature that should exist and this is the wrong one, then these are not for you. But they're definitely different from the AirPods Pro 2. So keep that in mind.
All right. And they've also integrated a heart rate sensor into the buds. Nothing new here, guys. Other brands have done this before. Actually, Apple themselves have done it with their PowerBeats Pro from Beats. But the difference between that and this one is that one wasn't very accurate and this one is. So check out some videos from our man Rob at The Quantified Scientist and also DC Rainmaker. They've done some amazing content on this. But it is definitely much better and improved, and it's pretty reliable now, which isn't surprising because it's in your ear and your ear isn't generally moving all too much, whereas something on your wrist is a little bit trickier. The microphones though, nice step up. They've improved from the Pro 2s, so you guys are going to be very happy with that.
And also in typical Apple fashion, this is the only color you get. Beautiful white, which blows out in all our shots. Super annoying. But also in typical Apple fashion, is all limited Apple features. So no real multi-point. There's absolutely no reason to do this. This is just bullshit. Sorry, Apple. Find My, which only works on Apple. Obviously no app for Android. Live translation, only on Apple.
Yep.
Heart rate, again, only on Apple. So overall, this is not the one to get if you're not in the Apple ecosystem. It just makes no sense. But something that looks much more unique is the Bose QuietComfort Ultra earbuds. And now we have the second generation of them on this table.
New and improved.
Yeah.
So Bose has made some very handy upgrades here over the course of the lifetime of the Ultra Gen 1. And we're getting all of those, plus much asked for upgrades. Like the name implies, Bose is killing it with its best-in-class quiet, meaning Tier S noise cancelling. On comfort, the oval-shaped tips and stability bands try to give you comfort as well as a secure fit. Sound-wise, these buds are bass-heavy, but overall, sound pretty fun out of the box.
Yeah.
Transparency is also top tier, like having nothing in your ears at all, including a feature that actually quiets down sudden loud sounds. They call it Active Sense. Controls are touch-based and give you everything you need with limited customization. Battery life is about acceptable with 6 hours advertised, but Bose always tends to underpromise, so take that number with a grain of sugar. For calls, the new speech clarity finally brings Bose's call quality up to par. Bose has added wireless charging on Gen 2, and they claim that the noise floor on ANC is improved. But we didn't quite notice that. Bose also has excellent smarts, including multi-point and in-ear sensor, custom ear canal tuning for sound, and calling out the device name you're connected to, as well as the ability to switch source devices directly from the bud.
Unfortunately, sound customization is limited. So if you don't like what Bose offers you, you're just getting a 3-band EQ. The high-res codecs, aptX Adaptive, is a good codec, but they aren't very ubiquitous. So if you have a Samsung phone, for example, you're stuck. The control surface can be a bit uncomfortable if you tap it a little bit hard or have very strong fingers like me. Connectivity in general can be a bit imperfect, whether that be, the app or when you're using multi-point. And the buds and the case are some of the largest on this list, as you can see here. Big chonker.
Mm-hmm. The next one isn't so big. These buds are the Sony WF 1000 XM5s, and these buds are old and, in our opinion, get unnecessary hate. So these buds offer a refined audio experience with a focus on clear vocals and a warmer sound profile, but it's got an engaging sound signature that handles many genres very well. They're still top tier in active noise cancellation across different frequencies, effectively silencing ambient noise and chatter. The transparency mode is also good at tier A and offers a natural sound pass-through that allows users to stay aware of their surroundings without removing the earbuds. The case design is compact and lightweight, making them very portable, and the build quality feels premium.
Call quality is significantly improved over previous models with clear voice pickup even in noisy environments. And touch controls are intuitive, but they are intuitive mainly for playback. We'll come to that in a bit. And it's not skimping on extras either, typical Sony, with wireless charging, multi-point connectivity, device list in the app, pull connection, and customizable EQ settings using the Sound Connect app that they have. The biggest issue for us are the tips. Not silicone, but Sony's hybrid foam tips. And that helps with isolation, but we struggled with getting a good grip in our ears.
Yeah.
So although they isolate sound well, if you're working out, this might be an issue. The touch controls are, as we said, also limited, and a multi-tap volume control is a rather curious choice, Sony.
Yeah, but overall, they're still top-tier buds, and you can get them for a very good price since they've been around for a while. All right, what's next?
These ones have been around for a while as well and have been a cult favorite. The Technics AZ100, and these might not be a pair you think of very often, and you probably don't come across it at every store, but boy, are they feature packed. The touch controls are exhaustive and you can customize them to your heart's content in the app. The ANC and transparency are both tier S. The buds and charging case are built like a tank, and they aren't too big either. You get the basics like a wear sensor, wireless charging, Dolby Atmos, etc. But our favorite feature?
Three-way multi-point.
He likes them three-way, so you can connect to 3 devices at once. Most Bluetooth audio devices these days can connect to only 2 devices at once, so that's a special tick mark. The sound to us was good, but not great, controversial. Many others say great. Make up your own mind. They've got a close soundstage and have a mid-bass focus that for us smooths over, guitar-heavy music and distortion and overdrive. If your music primarily has vocals and or drums, I think you should be fine. But at $299, there's a reason these are called favorites.
Yeah. Another buds that are priced well are the Samsung Galaxy Buds 3 Pro. And these buds have an inspired design.
Yeah.
Bit of applesauce right there.
Yeah.
Luckily, they also perform on the AirPods level in terms of ANC because they have tier S noise cancelling as well as tier S transparency with minimum white noise. In our view, the sound quality is objectively some of the best on this list, offering an open and clear experience. Though it can be too bright without the right ear tip, and a good seal is crucial for bass.
On the downside, you guessed it, an Apple-inspired limitation. No real multi-point connectivity, which means they won't stay connected to multiple devices simultaneously unless they are Samsung devices. And Samsung refuses to provide Apple users with an iOS version of the wearable app to tweak things. So you're stuck with what you get. The physical design of the case is pocketable though, and with USB-C and wireless charging. The case is nice but lacks an IP rating. And there's no speaker for finding lost buds, so they didn't take inspiration there, unlike some competitors. Call quality is strong in noisy and quiet conditions, but windy environments severely butcher the voice due to quite aggressive noise reduction. The controls, while reliable with that prism design for volume, can sometimes result in false taps, and the lack of the distinct divot like on the AirPods Pros does contribute to that as well. Battery life is a solid 8 hours plus with ANC off, but features like voice control can significantly reduce this. Again, so often on discount that these might be an easy buy for some of you living in the Sammy walled garden.
All right, this next one is a cult favorite. The Sennheiser Momentum True Wireless 4s offer good sound and a bunch of sound-related features to tune the buds to your preference. Touch controls work well, and call quality is also generally decent with good noise suppression. But the case and buds continue to be on the chunky side. You're getting wireless charging, low latency mode, multi-point connectivity, and a very nice and clean smart control app for Android and iOS. ANC is at the bottom of Tier S and transparency is Tier A, though both have a noticeable hiss. The main concern is potential reliability issues, and the large size makes it so that they don't reliably stay in all ears easily. The best part though, these get discounted very often, and you can get them for the price of a mid-ranger, making it a very attractive deal.
Another easy choice for Apple people is the sportier line, this big chonker, the PowerBeats Pro 2. These are hook-style buds that also go into your ears. So these were the buds Apple first introduced with the heart rate sensor, but now they're serious about it with the AirPods Pro 3 as well. Besides that, for $250, you're getting buds that have solid battery life of 8 to 10 hours, Tier S transparency, and good old physical buttons, guys. They've got similar bass to the AirPods Pro 2. They sound fine overall, but they can sound harsher in the higher end and a bit like low res. Their ANC is nothing to write home about at just Tier C, the worst on this list. Phone calls are not great either, and the charging case, as we said, is humongous. Oh, and these being workout buds, they merely have an IPX4 water resistance rating, which means no dust protection.
All right, we're going from the buds with the biggest charging case to the smallest one. The Google Pixel Buds Pro 2 are impressive. We personally love the small pebble-shaped case and the touch controls. Nobody talks about them, but the responsiveness on those touch controls is insane. Those controls do everything from track control, volume, and changing ANC modes. You can find your buds through the app, and you can even see your hearing wellness. Unfortunately, the sound has two profiles depending on whether ANC is on or off. With ANC on, you get a flat bass, and with ANC off, you get a muddier, warmer sound. Neither of those are really our favorites. If you're pairing them to a non-Pixel phone, you'll get worse call quality in any condition other than quiet.
All right. These aren't quiet at all. These are some loud buds. Let's talk about the Bowers & Wilkins PI8, and this is all about making you feel premium, making you feel rich. The design and materials, they're really top notch. The color choices as well, but they pack a punch on the inside too. You get good call quality, Tier A active noise cancelling and transparency. The charging case can be used to transmit audio in case you have older analog devices or on a flight, for example. You get all the extras: wireless charging, multi-point, a wear sensor. The sound is overall good, and depending on how sensitive your ears are to volume, you'll be either happy or disappointed to hear that the minimum volume level is not minimum enough. It's a bit too loud. This is regardless of whether you pair them to an Android or iPhone. Another downside is that the touch controls aren't the most responsive, and you can't customize them that much in the app. Ooh, and they're expensive.
Okay, going from a maybe rather well-known premium brand to a less known brand. This is probably one of the least known brands on this list, but that doesn't diminish its status whatsoever. Yes, these are the newly released Status Audio Pro X. These offer a brighter sound with a well-tuned triple driver system and 4 impressive sound presets, including LDAC support. Their transparency mode is top tier, especially that super mode, effectively amplifying ambient noise without compromising natural sound. Despite their appearance, they provide a surprisingly comfortable and secure fit, along with a solid IP55 dust and water resistance. Battery life is decent, advertised at 8 hours from the buds and 24 hours from the case, and in our test, that number bore out. This is one of the few buds on this list, probably the only one, that offer both touch and physical buttons for volume and track control. And because you can do so much with two controls, you can even power off the buds directly. The microphones include effective AI speech enhancement, which worked for the most part. And at this price point, they cover all the extras like a wear sensor, wireless charging, and multi-point connectivity.
The biggest downside for us on these is that the active noise cancelling is only tier B, meaning it's not particularly strong, and it allows noticeable low-end engine noise and voices to pass through along with audible white noise. The earbuds also protrude somewhat from the ears, and there's only 3 sizes of ear tips included, so may not work for every ear out there. They're also an older Bluetooth version 5.3, and even though they're on the low end at this list, $299 before pre-sale, ain't that cheap.
And you can't talk about headphones or earbuds without talking about JBL, and the Tour Pro 3 is very much a flagship. You're getting thick, weighty bass and very nice treble coupled with LDAC support. However, LDAC disables features like adaptive EQ, spatial sound, and the custom hearing test.
Its ANC is tier S, providing amazing low-end noise cancellation and good suppression of voices and highs. Transparency is tier A, decent for voices and higher frequencies, though it struggles with low-end rumble and bass in voices. And wind noise reduction is inconsistent.
In terms of design and build, it comes in 2 colors with touch controls that require choosing from control schemes. So it's not fully customizable. The most unique feature is that the smart case, which has a fully fledged operating system to control your buds. That case also doubles as an audio transmitter. However, that case is also double the size in terms of thickness. You're getting multi-point connectivity, a max volume limiter, wear sensor, relaxing sounds, silent now, and conversation awareness. Did we say it's got features? On call quality, one of our units wasn't great, but the unit that did fine. It has an IP55 rating and offers 8 hours of battery life with wireless charging. The price is $300.
All right, we're coming towards the end, but before we talk about the most expensive one, let's talk about a much less discussed one, the BeyerDynamic Amiron 300. Now, if you're talking audiophile, you'll know BeyerDynamic. The BeyerDynamic Amiron 300 is quite a premium experience. This matte, soft touch plastic feels really nice. You're getting wireless charging, responsive touch controls on the buds. Its wear sensor can be a bit tricky sometimes, but comfort is excellent for long periods, making them suitable even for sleeping because of their size and shape. And the fit is secure. For exercise with IP54 rating, it's a go. ANC is tier S, effectively cutting out low-end noise. And transparency is also tier S, some of the best on this list, allowing natural environmental sound. Call quality is very good.
However, we found that the battery life didn't even get close to the advertised numbers, and there's no device list or pull connect in the app. The stock sound tuning is V-shaped with boosted mid-bass and accentuated mid or high treble, offering a distinct personality that isn't your standard Harman fare. Having said that, these buds can be versatile with EQ presets. While the soundstage is wide, the bass attack is a bit slower. The price is on the higher end at €249 in Europe and $280 in the US.
Right. And for 2 of these, you could buy one of these, which is, yes, you guessed it, the Bang & Olufsen BeoPlay 11. I mean, these are gorgeous to begin with. The winner for the most expensive, of course, but the case and buds, yeah, I mean, it's all about sound and sexiness, the 2 S's. So the buds fit securely, and you get 4 sizes of silicone tips and 1 medium set of Comply foam tips in the box. The touch controls work very well, and the buds are IP57 rated. The ANC and transparency, that's where you start seeing these don't perform according to their price, tier A. We hope you weren't expecting the best when you're spending the most amount of money, right? It's just about being rich. Apart from the price being a hard pill to swallow, the calls are actually quite disappointing. I remember we were in IFA Berlin.
Yes.
You were making some calls and the other person was like, can you please not? So there's quite a lot of unwanted environmental noise. The app has its fair share of connectivity issues, and the case is definitely not the most pocketable, but somewhere in the middle. Annoyingly, despite paying so much money, Bang & Olufsen also wants your data. You need to log in to use the app. But I kind of love how these sound, especially for my kind of music, the electric guitars. B&O also went with a replaceable battery, which you can't replace yourself, but it does mean that you can give it to a B&O service center and your buds will last longer, and that is something if you're paying so much money. So now, out of these 13 buds, which one would you pick if money were no object?
Well, before we get to that, a big thanks to our patrons and YouTube members, especially these folks on the tested tier.
And these lovely people on the Fuck Month tier, our highest tier. Thank you, Rats Panda, Paula, and Rachel. If you want to become a supporter, check out the links below. And now back to the question.
Yeah. It's tough, right? It really depends on which kind of devices you're using and what's important to you. I mean, I'm just looking at this table. It's a beautiful set of buds. You know, you've got one with a display on it. You've got one with hooks. You've got one which is always the top of ANC, right? You've got one that works great in the Samsung ecosystem, one in the Apple ecosystem, etc.
Yeah.
But if I had to pick and money was no object, I think I'm going with the Technics AZ100.
Yeah.
I love them three ways. I got more than two devices. They connect well. ANC and transparency is top notch. Calls are great. Compact case. What else do I want? I mean, that's it. But at $300, they're a little bit pricey.
Yeah. All of these are pricey, right? There aren't any cheap buds.
Nope.
And you know what? I'm looking at these buds right now and I'm really struggling.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what I want out of it. So I would say I would not go for Apple or Samsung or
Locks you in too much.
Yeah, it locks me in too much. So So then I'm just thinking comfort, right? Mm-hmm. So, and some of the most comfortable on this list for me are the Bang & Olufsen, the Google Pixel, and the Status, right? And I'm gonna, probably, there's no perfect choice here, but because, to be honest, I use cheaper wireless earbuds. Okay. I never use premium wireless earbuds. I'm gonna have to go with Bang & Olufsen.
Wow, I did not expect that.
You're talking premium.
Yeah.
So you're talking more money.
Yeah.
And I think these look good. These make me feel good. You know, there's got that kind of it factor. And they sound wonderful to my ears. So I'm going for the Bang & Olufsen BeoPlay 11.
Nice. Okay. But what if we had to recommend the best value? Yeah. It's not really a value video because it is the most premium earbuds that you can buy.
Let's say what would the average person or what would someone else who's not us, what would we recommend? I think I'd say Technics or Sony.
Why?
Sony for me is uncomfortable. But
so why would you recommend it?
No, but if someone else
finds it comfortable,
it checks all the boxes. The most portable on this list.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. Mm-hmm. Like great buds actually.
Yeah.
And Techniques, is Techniques. I mean, I don't like the sound particularly, but it checks everything so many boxes.
Yeah.
All the boxes. Yeah.
I would recommend the Pixel Buds Pro 2.
That's a good one.
Yeah. It's such a compact, cute design. The touch controls are so responsive. They are comfortable. Calls are okay, pretty decent. ANC is okay. Tier A, that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think for many people, get the job done.
Yeah, but there's almost no bad buds here, right?
No, that's the thing.
We didn't pick any buds we thought were not great.
No, so we'd be happy using any of these buds. Yeah.
Right. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much. If you want to check out the best ANC headphones, just click on this video.
And if you want to see more AirPods Pro 3 content, click on this video.
Dui.
Dui.